no time to fear. Carell is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Carell is the one that you need to know. Now it's showtime.
It's more important than the price of gas. It's more important than your 401k. It's more important than your annual income. What is it? We'll talk about it today. It is the Carell Show. I am Carell. So very glad you are joining me just a tad late, as you can see from my finger. I cut myself and I was bleeding just 12 minutes ago. So I had to take care of that. So sorry about that. We've got a lot to talk about today. A lot. The number one issue in the world. In fact, the issue that almost everything else revolves around. And yet the issue that no one truly ever really talks about. Oh, let me rephrase. You're bombarded with people talking about it, but people aren't doing what they need to be doing about it. Particularly governments, municipalities, all kind, corporate America. So you're hearing these messages, you're seeing all this information. You're hearing candidates talk ad infinitum, and yet nothing gets done. And subsequently, most of you, not all of you, but most of you put this issue last, or second, or third, or fourth down the line. So we're going to talk about that today because it is one of my favorite topics. I would do a whole show every week, meaning just one show a week, about this very topic because it's so near and dear to my heart. Before we begin that, should we check the news real fast? I have not checked the news. I have been bleeding. I'm going to sneeze. I'm allergic to blood. I'm not, but I hate. What is one of the one things that you hate? That you just abhor? For me, it's bleeding. I can't. Some people can cut themselves and not care. I cut myself. Ugh. First of all, rest in peace to Ted Turner. Ted Turner was a media mogul, former husband of Jane Fonda. He died today at 87, 24 years from where I'm at right now, so a quarter of a century more life than I've had so far. And I hope to have that quarter of a century that he got. But he did pass away today. And of course, he was the founder of CNN. Trump is trying to, already saying, oh, Ted Turner was devastated that CNN became woke. That's just not true. Jane Fonda would have never, ever been with a man who was MAGA. She just would have never done it. And while they are divorced, they remained friends. So she wouldn't be friends with someone who is MAGA. So we say a fond farewell to Ted Turner, who really changed, the way we consume news. He really did. Now, whether or not you like CNN now, that doesn't matter. What matters is he created it, got it off the ground, made it a viable thing, and really changed the shape of news. He ushered in the era of cable news. There would not be an MS Now or a Fox News, their cable network, or any of them, News Nation, whatever. They wouldn't exist without CNN. And it was, for a very long period of time, the de facto place you would turn to for information in emergencies, wars, 9/11. It really had a high place in our news consumption. Maybe not now. Maybe a lot of you have changed your minds about it, or it's not as newsy as it used to be. They do have their headline news network now, which is separate from their other network. So maybe it's changed. And I don't think it's very woke, actually. I think CNN is one step away from Fox News. But Ted Turner started that revolution. He had the vision, and the resources, and he started it. Oil prices, they say, are plunging because Trump has said there may be an end to the war in Iran, but he's done this before. The prices have done this before, and prices keep going up in my neighborhood. So I don't know what that news story is about. It says U.S. and Iran moving towards a memo aimed at ending the... How vague. U.S. and Iran moving towards a memo aimed at ending the war. Could that be any more vague? Or is that just another market manipulation trick so his friends make a shit ton of money? You decide. I think it's fake.
If you're not visiting reallycorrell.com daily, you're missing out. Get the podcast, videos, and the blog, including recipes at reallycorrell.com. That's really KAREL.com.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Carell is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Carell is the one that you need to know.
And yes, as you movie buffs are pointing out, Ted Turner also bought the MGM catalog and started Turner Classic Movies, and which is a great channel. I love Turner Classic Movies. Plays a lot of wonderful films. So again, he saw streaming coming. He saw, because that's what Turner Classic Movies was. It was a streaming network for classic movies. So, you know, he really was a visionary when it came to media. He really was. So goodbye, Ted Turner. May your memory be a blessing, as they say. And you know, the world is a more interesting place because you were in it. So there's that. Trump yesterday said we were going to escort people through the Strait of Hormuz. Now today he says we're not. Yesterday, no deal. Today, deal. He's like that bad, what was that show? Deal or No Deal? Was that Howie Mandel's show? Game show? That's what Trump is with Iran now. They might as well be contestants on Deal or No Deal. I'm serious. Had to finish my hot cocoa because I was bleeding while I should have been drinking my hot cocoa. I was bleeding, child. So that's what's going on in the world at the moment. We got, you know, in Indiana, they're saying, oh, Trump won in Indiana. The candidates that he backed, you know, beat the other ones. That's no kind of win. You know, it's not good news for Republicans, actually. So, you know, I am not going to, the midterms are far away still. I don't know what's going to happen in them. Neither do you. So I don't want to be hopeful. I don't want to be poo-pooing your dreams. Okay? I don't want to say, you know, oh, it's just not, you know, we're not going to win the midterms. It looks like Democrats are poised to win the midterm. But there is so much time between now and then where every day with Trump is some sort of human fiasco that we don't know. We could be in a world war by the time the midterms roll around. We don't know. So look at Iran. It's over. It's not over. And now they're working towards a memo that may have I mean, come on. Trump is trying to manage the catastrophic failure that he has created in Iran. And the Republicans are trying to spin it. They're out there now on the news telling you how do I say this? They're telling you lies. That's just the only way to say that. They're telling you things are cheaper, that gas has gone down and food has gone down and the economy is great. That's what they're telling you. And they always reference the stock market. Oh, look, the stock market. Oh, look, the stock market. You know what? That's like telling me when I'm in ICU that the guy next to me is getting better quickly, so I should get better too. The stock market has no bearing on my life because I'm not a millionaire. It only has effects on 8% of the people who are millionaires. Oh, well, it affects my 401k. Yeah, but so what? You know, the stock market has always affected that. That doesn't mean you're invested in it. You don't have millions of dollars in the stock market. I know, because only 8% of you are millionaires. So for most of us, the stock market, who cares? I don't care, the S&P. I don't care. Good for big business that they're making money and they're happy. Good for them. Down here in the trenches, this is why I talked about a Real Folks News Network. Do you know what I agonized over this morning? So I have a 2001 Lexus RX 300 and my motor scooter. And I had to smog it to register it, the Lexus. It didn't pass. So I brought it to my guy at AutoSpec, Tony, handsome Mexican man, and very affordable. And he's had it for 3 days. They finally found the reason, and it's $1,200 to fix. The car is only worth $2,000. So it's $1,200 to fix to get it smogged so I can get it registered. I did not know what to do. I already don't want to be paying the $170 a month insurance, and I already don't want to pay the $80 a month in gas, and I only use it 10 or 12 times a month, so I really didn't know what to do. Finally, because I'll have to charge it. I don't have that in the bank. So finally, a friend said to me, look, even if you sell it, it's easier to sell a working vehicle. So get it fixed, throw it on a credit card. If you decide to get rid of it, sell it, pay back the credit card. If you decide to keep it, you keep it. And I thought, okay, that makes sense. So I finally called him like 30 minutes ago and said, go ahead and fix it. It'll be ready Friday. And then I have to pay a late registration fee because I thought it would be smogged in a day. The registration was due yesterday, and I brought it in on Friday. So I thought, I have until Tuesday. Oh, no. So now I have to pay $1,200 to have a part fixed so it'll pass a test so I can then give the state $153. You're never going to hear talk show hosts talk about the ridiculousness of that system. Having to pay money to pay more money. It's ridiculous. And so while they're touting, the economy is great, I'm sitting here thinking, should I spend $1,200 to fix a $2,000 car? Should I keep the car? Or should I just start taking Ubers in my motorcycle? These are the decisions that you and I face every day. We don't face, which stock should I buy? Which stock should I sell? What painting should I buy? What painting should I sell? Where should I spend my summer? That's not what you and I are dealing with every day. So when the Republicans go on the shows and say, gas is coming down and grocery prices are coming down and rents are coming down, I don't see it. My friends don't see it. I haven't taken a Lyft since the start of the Iran war. I took one home from the service station, the mechanic shop, and just to go from the Strip to here was $19 plus a $4 tip. So $23. When I first moved to Vegas, that trip was $11. $13, $14 with tip. It's gone up $10. The same ride on Lyft. See, these are the things that I think about, and I know they're the things that you think about. So Republicans, and they're all about affordability. Trump said affordability was bullshit. And he should know. That man is so full of it. He needs a bullshit spigot somewhere. He has one. That's why he has to wear a diaper. Donald Trump is so full of shit, he has to wear a diaper to catch it all. Because he's just full of bullshit. And it spews out of his body, from his mouth as his demented ramblings, and from his ass into his diaper, because he just is brimming with shit. And while we're suffering and thinking about these things, he's posting images of him in the reflecting pool with his cabinet, or holding all the cards. And he's holding Uno cards, which, by the way, the goal of Uno is to get rid of all your cards, not hold them all. So he should have rethought that one. Or he's never played Uno. No, he's probably only played Solitaire, because who would sit and play a game with him? So Solitaire is his game. So they're telling us, it's great, it's rosy, it's fabulous. And we're going, no. And now today, oil prices plummet. So when I drive around today, these prices that are $4.99 a gallon now should be down to $3, right? No. So they're said, and Trump said, oh, affordability is bullshit. Really? Says the billionaire? Really? Taking financial advice from that man it's like taking dating advice from, I don't know, Jared Kushner. Really, it's completely ridiculous. And so today is yet another psychotic swing day in Iran. Oh, well, we're both looking at a memo that could lead to peace. And he says that, and the markets just jump. What does that even fucking mean? We're looking at a memo that could lead to peace. Could that be any more vague? Really. I've heard some spin before, but child, we're looking at a memo that could lead to peace. Yes, well, I'm looking at a man that could lead to sex. It ain't gonna. His name is Connor Story, and yum, yum, yum. Actually, Rob GK from Heated Rivalry, the barista boy, he's the one I want. Or the hockey player that he's in love with. Steve and I went to Barnes & Noble Books last night for his birthday, and I know, what a birthday spot, right? But I hadn't been in one in a while. A, I was encouraged to see young people in there. B, they sell vinyl. Do you know how much a record is? A vinyl record. Do y'all know how much? $20. And do you know why? They said the Iran war. Vinyl is made out of petroleum. So new records, I'm talking about new records are $20 and up because vinyl is made out of oil. There's not a part of our lives that Iran has not touched. Of course, the vintage albums are the same price. They're like, if we can get it for a new one, we can get it for an old one. But it was great to be in a bookstore. I saw all the Heated Rivalry books. Steve bought one by she's named Kincaid, something Kincaid. And it's, I forget the name of it. The something, the market or the I forget what it is. The something. But it's some sort of mystery, murder, whatever. I don't know. But it's a bestseller. It's new. And her name is Kincaid. And he's already read several chapters. But it was great. It was great to go into Barnes & Noble and to see young people there. By the checkout, they had the poems of Robert Frost. And I remember, the road less traveled. That's where it comes from, that term, the road less traveled, from Robert Frost. I remember learning Robert Frost's poems when I was in grade school. And I remember liking them. And so I picked up the book and I was reading it right there at the counter. And suddenly everyone got quiet and listened to me read the poem. And the checker said, oh, I haven't heard that poem in like 25 years. And they all loved that I read the poem. It was fabulous. It was a lovely night. All right. So yeah, the smog requirement turns some good vehicles into junk. True. The only problem with my Lexus is it can't pass the smog, and it can't pass the smog because of some little device that is $1,200 to replace. So they make a rule to make the cars have to pass this test. If you don't pass the test, you got to pay. It's a racket. A car is a money grab. That's why. Okay, not to go back to my car issues, but that's why I don't want a car. All a car is a fucking money grab. They make the parts so they wear out. They don't have to. They could make parts, they could make tires that last forever, but they don't. They make parts that wear out, so you have to keep mechanics in business and auto parts stores in business. Then they make all these requirements for the car to be on the road, so you have to spend this money for this and spend that money for that, and we can't import these cars because of this, and we can't import those cars because of that. And then insurance, the biggest racket out there. And then gas, the biggest racket. Cars are nothing but a money grab. We should not need them. We should have excellent public transportation. But then again, I should have a husband, so life isn't fair, right? I should be able to drive my husband instead of drive my car, but I can't. That's why I almost don't want it anymore. I am sick to death of money grabs. And all America has become is a giant corporate money grab. And that leads us right into the topic that I really wanted to talk most about today, which is the number one topic in the world. The most important thing in the world is not fucking oil. It is not the Strait of Hormuz. That is not the most important thing in the world. The most important thing in the world, and the most important thing to any president, the most important thing to any mayor, to any governor, is the health of your people. That's it. That's it. And everything is supposed to stem from that, from protecting the mental and physical health of your people. And we spend more than any other country on healthcare, and yet we're sicker than any other country. Healthcare always dominates elections. Universal healthcare or access to healthcare. It always dominates. Always. Look exactly what happened of late with the subsidies for the ACA and how those are a contentious point in Congress.
Patreon is the way to show you care. Subscribe today if you dare. Keep the show on there. Patreon is the way. Now it's showtime.
In the chat room, they said, no, the most important issue in the world is water. No. Yes, water is the most important liquid on the planet, but it's not the most important issue, because why do you drink water? To maintain your health. Okay? Why do you eat food? To maintain your health. Everything that we do in life is to one end, to maintain our life. And that means to maintain our health. Everything. Climate change isn't a corporate issue or it's a health issue. Is the planet healthy enough for us to live in certain regions and be healthy? That's why climate change is an issue. Health. Smog. My car. Ultimately, why does my car have to be smogged? Why? Because of clean air. And why do we need clean air? For health reasons. So ultimately, smogging your car is a health issue. It's not a driving issue. It's not a road issue. It's not a mechanical issue. It's a health issue. You smog your car so you don't pollute the air, so you have clean air to breathe and don't get lung cancer. It's a health issue. Almost everything in life can be traced back to it being a health issue. We have so many agencies, water agencies, clean water agencies, the water agency that decides where the Colorado River goes. Why is all of that in existence? To get water to people, to crops. Why? Health. You can't be healthy without water. You can't live without water. It's all about health. Health is the number one issue in our entire world. Why do you work? You work for money. Why do you need money? To buy food and to have lodging. Why do you need food and lodging? To be a healthy human being. Everything that we do in life relates back to our health. Everything. There's nothing that we don't do that doesn't relate to our health. Nothing. And so given that, I thought, you know what? Most of my listeners try to be healthy. Some of them work out. Some are vegans or vegetarians. Some have lost weight. I tend to think you guys are a little more healthier than the general public. Liberals tend to be. MAGA is not healthy, which is why they need their Make America Healthy again. They're the only ones that are sick. But whatever. So I started to think about that. And I thought, we prioritize all the things like work. So many people say, I cannot exercise, I don't have the time, or I cannot eat right, I don't have the time because I have to work. But why do you work? You work for money. And what does the money do? Buy food, pay for your house. And what does that relate to? Your health. So if you're working so much that you don't have time to pay attention to your health, you might as well not work, because you're defeating the purpose of the job. The job is to provide what you need to be healthy. That's it. That's what your job is for. And that includes mentally. A rewarding job, a job that fulfills you, that gives you purpose, that gives you... What is purpose? Purpose is a mental condition that gives you better health. We know you live longer if you have a sense of purpose. Everything you do relates back to your health. It either affects it positively or negatively. Donald Trump directly relates to your health. Not just the policies that he makes or undoes, but the mental health crisis that he has caused. He is the worst thing for America's health is Donald Trump. He is terrible for our health. The policies that he does and the stress that he causes. He is horrible for our health. So everything relates back to your health. And so I'm really curious why you don't prioritize it. And you're like, well, how do you know I don't, Karel? Because you think what I do every day is overkill. You think that the things I do that you can never do, it's just too much. What do you have for breakfast every day? What do you have for breakfast every day? Anybody? What do you have? Because I have half a cup of oatmeal with nuts, walnuts usually, raisins or craisins, dried cranberries, a cup of soy milk mixed with a scoop of protein powder, and a cup of fruit, mixed fruit, fresh, and a pot of tea. Now, that all of that isn't just because I like it. It all has a purpose. The oatmeal is for fiber and lowering cholesterol. The nuts are because they're very healthy and you're supposed to eat nuts. The craisins or raisins are for flavor, but they're also good for you. The protein powder is to add protein into the oatmeal. The soy milk is because you shouldn't eat dairy, and there's nutrients in it, protein. The cup of fruit is because you should eat 2 full cups of fruit a day. Every day. 2 full cups. The tea is because I love it, but also for the caffeine, which has positive health benefits. Then after breakfast, me and Ember brush our teeth, and then we come into the TV room and do 30 minutes of exercise, yoga or yoga and weights. 5 days a week. 30 minutes of yoga or 20 minutes of yoga and 10 minutes of weights 3 days a week. And the other 2 days, 30 minutes of yoga. So 5 days a week yoga, okay? 3 of those days, 20 minutes, and then 10 minutes of weights. 2 of those days, well, one of those days, 30 minutes, and the next day, 45 minutes. Saturdays is 45 minutes of yoga. And then after that, we leave and go to the park where we walk 2.5 miles and I run up and down the hill 8 times at a 14% incline. Then we come home and shower and do the show. Then at 11:30, a vegan lunch. Then at 4:30, a light dinner, usually soup and fruit. And then that's it. Then done. Done for the day. And then we do another mile walk after dinner. So 3.5 to 4 miles of walking and a total of 2 hours of exercise a day. Do you do that much? Do you? Honestly, do you? And if not, why not? Well, we'll find out.
It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karelcast on your favorite streaming service. You're listening to the Karelcast. Driving you home or driving you crazy. It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Corelcast on your favorite streaming service. You're listening to the Corelcast. Driving you home or driving you crazy.
Now, a lot of you just heard that and said, Corel, I can't do that much. It's non-negotiable. I just can't. You can give 8 to 10 hours a day to a job, but you can't give 2 hours a day to yourself. The same for cooking. How much time do you spend cooking? How much time? How many things at your house do you make for yourself as opposed to... What's that? You hear that, Em? How much time do you spend at home cooking and making things? You know, what I didn't include in that regime is right before my oh yes, I take a hot cocoa every day. 8 ounces of soy milk, 2 scoops of theobromide, which is dark cacao, and 2 teaspoons of Torani flavored syrup that's sugar-free. So that's the hot cocoa drink. Because chocolate, dark cacao, has immeasurable health benefits. Past civilizations have drunk it. Not alkaline processed cocoa. That's bad. But dark cacao. So I do that. I also do a tablespoon of psyllium husk, another scoop of protein, and a tablespoon of flax. And then, of course, supplements. I take a multivitamin. I take choline because vegans don't eat it. I take vitamin B, vitamin D, magnesium. I take, what else? Algae oil for, the DHA and EPA. So I take all of that. What do you take? Do you take fiber, psyllium husk? Do you drink chia seeds or flax seeds, hemp seeds? Those are all good for you, delicious, you need them. How many of you have nuts in your house right now other than the ones attached to your body? How many of you? I have walnuts, almonds, cashews, pecans, and pine nuts. Oh, and peanuts, of course. How many of you make your own peanut butter? Or cashew butter? Or almond butter? Why buy it in the store? 2 pounds of peanuts in a food processor for 10 minutes, and you've got a pound of peanut butter. There you go, right there. How many of you make your own nut milk? Because you shouldn't drink dairy. And the stuff you buy in the store is just processed. Randy Radar sent me a box from Thrive Market. And it's a vegan box. And it was filled with stuff I don't eat. And I love him for the gesture. But there were Terra Blue potato chips, which I don't eat Terra Blue potato chips. So there was Terra Blue potato chips, because I don't eat them. They're fried. They have fat. I don't eat potato chips. And then there was mushroom jerky, which I will eat. There was a lot of it, so it'll take me a long time to get through it. So mushroom jerky. And then there, what else was in there that I don't really eat? Canned soup. I make my own soup because of the sodium content of canned soup. So I make my own. Like right now, I'm eating every day cream of broccoli soup. I made a big batch last Sunday. I freeze half of it. I keep half in the refrigerator. Next week will be tomato. The week after that will be vegetable. So how many of you do that? How many of you, cook for yourself, make things at home? Like ketchup. If you look at the ketchup in the store, it's just sugar. You can make it at home. It's much better. It's much cheaper. Barbecue sauce, much better, much cheaper to make at home. Teriyaki sauce, salad dressing. No need to buy it. I mean, really, it's so easy to make. You just, FASS, fat, acid, salt, sweet. Make a salad dressing. FASS, fat, acid, salt, sweet. So fat, olive oil. Acid, rice wine vinegar. Salt, soy sauce. Sweet, agave or honey. Throw a few other things in, voila, salad dressing. Mix it up with some strawberries. Strawberry salad dressing. Blueberries. Blueberry salad dressing. You know, Vidalia onion. Vidalia onion salad dressing. So you don't need to buy salad dressing. A lot of you do. How many servings of vegetables do you get a day? I get tons. I'm a vegan. And why aren't you a vegan or vegetarian? We know that's healthier, that meat is bad. Do you eat hot dogs? Even vegan ones. You shouldn't. How much sugar do you eat?
Visiting reallycorrell.com daily? You're missing out. Get the podcast videos and the blog, including recipes at reallycorrell.com. That's really KAREL.com.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Corel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Corel is the one that you need to know.
Yes, tahini dressing is great. And Granny, good for you in the chat room. You have pistachios, cashews, walnuts, peanuts, and pecans. And you're right, Rachel. Supplements cost a fucking fortune nowadays. I mean, I take a lot of them and because I am a vegan, and I do believe that even though I get most of it from food, there's a few nutrients that you really should, if you're a vegan, go ahead and take just because. I bump up my protein with protein powder. I take magnesium, even though I eat a lot of leafy greens. I take calcium, again, even though I eat a lot of leafy greens. So you got to bump up, some of the nutrients. But the real reason I want to talk to you about this today is to show you that everything in life relates back to your health, so you really have to take better care of it. Now, a lot of you say, I couldn't go do the outside walks that you do. I could list the benefits of walking until I'm blue in the face. There are so many, from getting sunshine, feeling the grass on your feet, walking your dog appreciates it, fresh air, what it does to you mentally. An hour walk every day is so good for you all around. Why are you not taking one? I don't have the time. Well, what are you giving your time to if not your health? And I mean that. What are you giving your time to if not your health? To work? Why? Again, why do you work if not to be healthy? And we think medicine will fix us. Oh, well, if I get too fat, I'll just go on a GLP-1. Oh, if I get cancer, I'll just go on a cancer drug. Food is medicine. And what you put into your body affects your health. Now, look, I'm going to get sick. Okay? I'm gonna. And I'm going to die. Okay? Just because I do all this stuff doesn't mean I'm not going to get sick and I'm not going to die. I'm gonna. I'll just be as healthy as I can until that point. Statins are huge in this country. My cholesterol's normal because I'm a vegan. I don't eat cholesterol. I eat zero cholesterol. All cholesterol comes from animal products. So I eat zero. I do have to watch my trans fat. That does not come from animal products. It comes from all kinds of products, and mine gets high sometimes because I like to bake. So I have to watch that. But what are you eating? What are you putting into your body? It's like I said, look, I love Amy's soup, and I am so glad that Randy sent me some because I will eat it. It's delicious. Amy's soup is delicious. And her beans are delicious as well. And he sent baked beans. I love baked beans. Baked beans are delish. And I do eat canned baked beans. That is something I do buy in a can. I don't make my own baked beans. I buy them in a can. My father, I grew up on B&M baked beans. I grew up on those. And now I eat Bush's because they're vegan. And so baked beans, but they're so good for you. How many beans do you eat a day? I eat beans every day. Every day. Garbanzo beans, navy beans, red kidney beans. I eat beans, honey. A lot. They're full of protein. They're full of fiber. They're so good for you. How many beans do you eat a day? Truly, how many servings of beans? Lentils. How many servings of lentils do you eat a day? See, you crowd your diet with all these other horrible foods and it doesn't leave room for the good ones. Let's just start with 2 cups of fruit. I would love the comments below for you to tell me how many of you eat 2 cups or more of fruit a day. Every day, like today, I will have had a banana, 2 mandarin oranges, 2 kiwis, strawberries, blackberries, and blueberries. That's my day today. Tomorrow is watermelon, pineapple, kiwi, the oranges, because I buy those bags of the tangerine oranges, the easy peel ones, and they come like 30 in a bag for like $5. And so I have to eat them every day because they'll go bad. So I didn't just want to sit here and tell you what it is I eat. I wanted to express to you that the most important thing in your life is your health, and that so much of politics and government surrounds your health. So many policies are about your health. Food banks are about your health. Access to food is about your health. Food deserts are about your health. How much money you have equates to your health. It is all about your health. Most of life is about your health, and yet you don't prioritize it. And that includes mental health. You got to feed your mind just like you feed your body. You got to feed it interesting thoughts, books, literature, music, art, sunshine. You got to feed your brain. Dementia is running rampant. Why? Because we don't take care of our brains. We don't take the time out of the day to do a crossword puzzle, to read a book. I really worry about the younger generation and their brains. I really do. If all they do is scroll, what is their brain going to be when they're 70? Mush? So I need you, if you're not prioritizing your health, I need you to start thinking about it as the only thing that is important in your world. That there is nothing else more important. There's nothing else more important than eating 3 meals a day. Period. Nothing. I can't eat 3. Fuck you. Yes, you can. Your body is like a dog. It does what you train it to do. You are supposed to eat 3 meals a day and 2 snacks. Every 4 hours, or every 2 hours, you're supposed to give your body a little something. So you eat breakfast, 2 hours later a snack, 2 hours after that lunch, 2 hours after that a snack, 2 hours after that dinner. And if you eat dinner at the time I eat at 4:30, then at 6:30 a light snack and you're done. That's it. Nothing for 4 hours before bedtime, and then you sleep for 7 or 8, and so you have fasted for 12 hours. And water. I drink a gallon a day. You should drink anywhere between 80 and 120 ounces of water a day, depending on your body weight. I don't want to hear about how you can't do it. I don't want to hear about how you're not that thirsty. I don't want to hear it. That's what you're supposed to do. There are hard fasts when it comes to your health, and we act like they're negotiable. Oh, I don't have to drink that much water. Yeah, you do. Do you want your kidneys when you're 80? Yes or no? Really? Do you want your kidneys? Yes or no? Because I have seen the opposite. I have seen with AIDS, people that would do anything for just a little tiny bit of health. Anything. Take massive drugs, fly across the country to clinics, do whatever they needed to do just for a little bit of health. I have seen aging people who devote their lives to just being healthy so they can walk, so they can talk, so they can still function. Everything in life, getting your car smogged is about health. It's about air, oxygen, clean air. The economy is about health. You need money in order to buy food. You need money in order to have vacation and free time and mental health. You need money to do these things. But money is really just about health. The more you have, the healthier you should be. And yet, rich people, they're totally not healthy. And I don't want you to listen to influencers about health. They don't know shit. Don't take health advice from TikTok or Instagram, please. Unless that influencer is a doctor, and even then, if they're trying to sell you something, don't listen. Don't listen. If they're trying to sell you something that they market, don't listen. Unless it's a good product. I mean, there are some people that market good products. There was a company called Hippo 7, and they marketed a vegan vitamin. And it had all the things that vegans miss in their diet, iodine and B2, just different things. They went out of business, but I got it while they were in business. So unless they're marketing something that's tried and true or that you really truly need, there's this whole protein thing, right? Oh, you got to eat 200 grams of protein or 300. No, you don't. 100 grams a day or less, and you're fine. We even have research that proves the less protein you get, sometimes the longer you live. But you should at least get 75 grams, 70 to 75 grams, up to 100 grams. That's what you need. Stay in that range, 70 to 100 grams of protein, you're fine. You're good. No, the carnivore diet is not healthy at all. The keto diet is not healthy. Don't do it. You want to be healthy? Vegan or vegetarian? Lots of fruits and vegetables all day long. Cut out a lot of the sugars. No processed foods or very few processed foods. And make them minimally processed. And then move. Yoga. Everybody in the world should practice yoga. And we won't teach kids yoga in school because we say it has a religious connotation. Get that? They want to put the 10 Commandments in schools, but you can't teach yoga because they say it has a religious connotation. Yeah, just not their religion. But no, it has no religious connotation. There is no religion in yoga. Trust me. Oh, there's intention. There's purpose. There's during your Shavasana, which is when you wind down, there's mantras. How many of you have a yoga mantra? How many of you do yoga and have your mantra for Shavasana? I was told by my instructor that mine is very strong. It is, I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am wise. I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am strong. I resist fear, I create purpose, and I will not pre-grieve. That's my mantra. I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am strong. I create purpose, I will not pre-grieve. That's my mantra. And so I lay there during Shavasana for about 5 minutes. I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am strong. I've added, I resist fear, I create purpose, and I will not pre-grieve. Because those are all the places that I need help in my life. And so if you repeat over and over that you're already doing them, it's very healthy for you. So after yoga, there's always a cool down called Shavasana. And during Shavasana, I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am strong. I resist fear, I create purpose, and I will not pre-grieve. What's your mantra? Do you have one? You should. Are you doing yoga? Why not? There's free YouTube videos. Apple Fitness Plus has over 1,300 workouts, all of which I've done. And you should do it 5 days a week. And then on 3 of those days, throw in some weights. Doesn't have to be huge weights. Doesn't have to be enormous weights. And then after you do that, you must get outside and walk. You must. These are not negotiable. These are not if you have the time, not if the kids allow it, not if your mom doesn't need you, not if... No. Everything in life comes from you being healthy. Everything. You can't be any good to anybody if you're not healthy. Who wants to have sex with sick people? I mean, well, I suppose there's some people with a fetish, but you know what I'm saying. You got to be healthy to have sex, honey, if you're doing it right. Or as healthy as you can be. You got to be healthy to go out and sing or dance or to go do your projects. You got to be healthy or as healthy as you can be. It should be the only thing you think about. Because once you filter the world through your health, the world changes. In the last week, I have stopped reading the news. Really, I have. Donald Trump is not healthy. He's not. Well, physically, he's not. My God, he's a walking testament of what McDonald's will do to you. I mean, look at him. Bloated, in a diaper, demented, scars on his hands from IVs. The man is not healthy. And that's what a life of McBurgers will do to you. You'll end up shitting in a diaper because your colon has just given up processing after that point, after all that beef and processed food. But also, he's not healthy for your mental health. Democrats or Republicans are not healthy, and they don't care about your health. They really don't. The only thing they care about your health is paying for it. That's all they care about, paying for your health. They don't care about your health. They care about the cost of your health or the cost of you being sick. That's all they care about. You want to know one of the ways to avoid healthcare and healthcare costs? Be healthier. Now, I know I have seen a lot of doctors in the past. I know that. You'll be proud of me. I haven't seen a doctor in a month, 2 months, 3 months. I don't have anything really pending right now that I'm going to for my aorta in June, but that's every year. So outside of that, that's the next doctor appointment I have in June for my aorta. But I haven't seen a doctor for any kind of healthy thing. I've cut way back, as you know. I've conquered my medical anxiety in a way. Did you hear that too? Me and Ember are hearing weird noises.
Patreon is the way to show you care. Subscribe today if you dare. Keep the show on there. Patreon is the way. Now it's showtime.
So my friend Hannah, there's a person in my chat room that has PTSD, and it caused him to lose the ability to speak correctly, and that's terrible. PTSD is not only real, but more people have it than you think. My friend Hannah, the power went out at her house in Marina Del Rey, her $4,000 a month condo, $4,500 a month condo, right on the ocean, or where the boats are or whatever. And the power went out for 17 hours. And she said it brought her right back to the isolation of COVID. And she hated the way she felt. And the next day she couldn't shake it. And I said, well, you have PTSD. And she said, well, how do you know? I said, PTSD is when something triggers the event, the PTSD event, it brings you right back to the situation that caused the trauma. You feel like you are in that moment. You feel that moment like real. I mean, you're like living in that moment. I have it. I've been diagnosed with it. I've seen psychiatrists for it. It's one of the things Ember is for. She's for my heart and for the PTSD from my heart. Because when your heart goes out of rhythm at 200 beats a minute and they're telling you you could die at any second, that's traumatic. When you watch your husband die in the ER right in front of you and they're not treating him because of malpractice, watching that whole thing go wrong and living that whole night, that 5-hour stretch of his death, I live it over and over and over. And there's so many times I'm brought right back to that ER where they're pounding on his chest and there's bruises around their fingers and they're shocking him and his whole body's flying into the air. And I go over and I whisper in his ear that this is going to make a great topic on our show, but I really need him to come back. And he doesn't. And then asking me, do you want us to stop, as I'm in the corner of the room on the floor in a little ball? And they're like, do you want us to stop? And I'm screaming, no, save his life, save his life. And he dies right there in front of me. That whole event, if you don't think I have PTSD from that, well, you weren't there. So it's real. And so many of us have it. And we are so quick to discount it, or any mental condition. Someone's on crutches or in a wheelchair, you're like, oh, they're disabled. But someone has something going on up here, and you're so quick to discount, well, they need to just get over it. Some things you never get over. You just get through. There's a big difference. I will never get over Andrew's death, ever. It destroyed my life in so many ways. I will never get over it. I get through it day by day. There's a lot of things I'll never get over that I'll just get through. I'll never get over the way America has treated me as a gay person. Every gay person that lived through AIDS and is over the age of 50 has PTSD to some degree, if they're in America, because they've been threatened, shot at, beaten, chased, discriminated against, or their friends have all died. Yeah, every gay person over the age of 50 in America has PTSD in some way, shape, or form. And so we're all broken. We all have our baggage, but you've got to be as healthy as you can be to get through it. Now, we're making great strides. There's great strides being made in pancreatic cancer research, extending the lives, detecting it earlier, because that's one of the worst. Glioblastoma multiforme, the other worst. They're doing research to try to make it not such a death sentence. Cancers, treating them with your own T cells and your own immune system, making great strides. Alzheimer's and mental illness, mental cognition issues, they're making great strides. In the next 20 years, a doctor told me if you're 50 or 60 and you can live the next 20 years, you will probably make it to 100 because of all the advances they're doing. But you got to be healthy to start with. You can't expect medicine to fix you if you have broken yourself irreparably. You know, a heart muscle will only take so much. A liver, a kidney, a bladder, they'll only take so much. And so my goal with the show today was to inspire you to start prioritizing your health more than you do already. Start being religious about it. No, I must eat 2 cups of fruit a day. No, I must have 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. No, I must eat beans and whole fibers every single day. You know, I must have a cup of cocoa with real chocolate every day. I travel with it. I take it with me when I travel. You know, people think I'm crazy when I travel. I bring Ember's food and I bring my food. I bring an ice chest when I drive by car. Because I'm not going to pay what they want for oatmeal and fruit at restaurants, you know, but I have it every morning. So I bring in an ice chest. It's your health. No matter where I am in the world. When I was in Phoenix, my niece was amazed. Every morning, fruit, oatmeal, Ember eating next to me, because you should never eat alone. It's unhealthy to eat alone. So that's why Ember eats in the chair next to me. And then the 2-mile walk every morning, no matter what I have to do, no matter what hour I have to get up at, I do that every morning. If I have a 7 o'clock appointment that I have to get to, I'm up at 4 o'clock so I can still do breakfast, yoga, weights, walk before the appointment. Do you prioritize yourself that way? You should. And I want you to, okay? Please. I need you to be as healthy as you can be. I'm telling you, I would do vegan cooking shows every day, 4 days a week, if you'd let me. On this show right now, the Carell Cast. I would be in the kitchen every day if you'd let me. Oh yeah, we'd talk about other issues. We'd talk about Trump. We'd have other guests and all of that. But the basis would be in the kitchen and the living room to talk food and entertainment, because entertainment is really important for your health too. All right, I am Carell. You be who you want to be, so I don't hurt anybody. We'll be back tomorrow with our final show of the week. Thanks for indulging me for being late with my little finger catastrophe here. I'm such a baby. I cut myself. I'm going to die. I could have. You never know. Infection.
It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Carell Cast on your favorite streaming service. You're listening to the Carell Cast. Driving you home or driving you crazy. It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Carell Cast on your favorite streaming service.